So the cylinder recirculation model, which is being implemented by the National Petroleum Authority (NPA) and the Energy Ministry, has been on the drawing board since the year 2017 after it was announced. Some stakeholders or players in the industry had concerns about this particular model and had called for consultations, as some of them believed that it was going to reduce the penetration of LPG in Ghana. The NPA, on the other side, believed that it was not going to reduce penetration, but rather was going to get a lot of people to use LPG, as it is the new way to go for the country. On the 1st of September 2023, the National Petroleum Authority indicated that it is fully going by this particular model, that is the cylinder recirculation model, and so you would have a lot of cylinders being filled at various collection points, and for customers they would have to go there and buy the size of the cylinders that they can afford for use, and subsequently present the cylinder for refilling. That is how the policy is going to be. But what does this mean to LPG penetration? So we'll stay on this particular subject a while longer and speak to the head of research here at Citi FM and Citi TV, Nathan Kwao. He's joined me now to tell us what this particular initiative would mean to what we do here, in previous times. I'm grateful for joining us. So first of all, tell us what the cylinder recirculation model would mean.
Well, basically, if you listen to the NPA and if you go through a lot of the information that they've put out, the cylinder recirculation model is essentially a model that's been designed to make sure that citizens like you and me, like the woman who sells Kelewele at the junction, will have access to gas. Why? Because globally the world is transitioning. We want to move from wood fuels like charcoal and other things to cleaner sources of energy like gas. So that's really what they want to do. They want to ensure that there are enough cylinders around. They will make production centers, they'll increase the production centers, and then people will have more access to gas. So essentially, if there's more access, the cost should be stable, or the cost should come down, and then more people can afford. Because if the charges to go with the new transition or the energy transition means that everybody should be using gas, so they want to make it available and easily accessible to the citizens so they can all get gas to use.
Well, we've actually had some stakeholders like the LPG Marketers Association raising some concerns that, well, it's not really feasible as the NPA is putting it. But from the work that has been done so far, do you think it is feasible? It is something that can be sustainable?
Well, it is feasible provided a number of variables are in place. So for example, if you have a lot of cylinders, because essentially what it means is that if I'm done cooking and my cylinder is out of gas, I take it to a point and then I exchange and get a new one. So that's where the circulation comes in. So the one that you use and the one that I will use will be in the system. It will go around. Eventually, everybody will get to have a cylinder. They may not own it permanently, but if they go to a collection point, they pay and then they can take it away. So one, if they have a lot of cylinders in the system, then it can work on that point. The other challenge will be pricing. I feel that the NPA still needs to engage some of these people, because these entities have business models. Somebody invested money into setting up a gas filling point as we currently know them, because the NPA says those things will change over time. So what has been the conversation? What's the plan to ensure that they are still in business? Because if somebody is filling gas, he's making a certain amount of money in terms of revenue. I don't think it's the same as just having a collection point where people come to exchange their cylinders. I could be wrong, but when I just look at it from a simple perspective, I don't think that business model will be equal to each other.
Now, finally, I would want us to talk about pricing, because over the period we've seen that the hike in the cost of LPG is not making people even afford filling their cylinders to the brim and all of that. So they buy with their amount they can buy and all of that. Do you think that with this particular new model where it's going to be filled to the brim, people can afford it? Because that's also a concern that has sprung.
Well, in an engagement with the NPA, it stated clearly that they are producing different types of cylinders. So they have the very small, they call it the 3 kg one, and there's a regular one, as we know, 6, 14, it goes on and on and on. If they can make those smaller ones available for people, and if the prices make sense, because now the system is that I go there, if I have 1 cedi, I tell them fill my gas worth 1 cedi. But if I'm going in to buy a cylinder that's already filled, what is the new price? Will it be affordable? Those are the questions the NPA needs to think about. Of course, they say that they are producing smaller size cylinders, but I feel that the engagement will be key. Let people know what it is that they are doing. Let people know that, okay, over time, this policy makes more sense to your pocket. So please buy into it. But I think it's a great question. I think they need to think about those ones as well. Because, for example, if I go and buy 50 cedis worth of gas, is it equal to a 3 kilogram cylinder? How much is 50 cedis in relation to a 3 kilogram cylinder? Does it fill it? Does it not fill it? Do I need a bigger one? Those are the questions I feel the NPA needs to think about.
We'll speak to some of the patrons here. Let's find out what they make of this particular model that has come up. Hi, sir. I've seen that you've come here with your cylinder to fill. How much did you fill it?
Yeah, 100 cedis.
Is it to the brim?
Yes, to the brim.
What do you make of the whole model?
Yeah, it could be fine though, but then I am thinking about the maintenance culture, because you come to a gas filling station, you find some of the cylinders in a very bad condition, and so if we are all going to use it and bring it to a collection point, what it means is that when I come, I have to get another cylinder home. Maybe I may not like the shape, maybe the condition of the cylinder, so that is going to be a little challenge to someone like myself, and that will also be a problem for others who may want to buy, as it were, very at a price that maybe they can afford at a point. Because as it is, you see others buying 20 cedis, others buying 30 cedis, others also buying the normal, that is to the size of my cylinder I'm using, like 60 cedis. Whilst sometimes I also do to the point of maybe 100 cedis. If that is the price, then those who are buying less than that may also be having a problem, may have a challenge. So they may not be able to use it, as it were, per their the initiative they are bringing. And it will be a challenge for those ones too.
Meanwhile, my colleague Kennedy Chumesi has also been visiting some filling stations and has brought us this report.
The model involves the process of refilling LPG cylinders at large refilling plants and subsequently distributing them to consumers through specialized retail outlets known as exchange points. During Citi News' visit to several LPG stations on the first day of implementation, it became evident that the rollout had not yet begun. Consumers were observed filling their cylinders, with some having no knowledge of the new model. Obed Crane Boache, the head of gas in charge of commercial regulation at the authority, informed Citi News that the refilling plants are currently at various stages of completion, causing the delay in the rollout.
There are 4 bottling plants that are various stages of completion. We have about 2 of them that are ready to begin the rollout in September, as we indicated. You have the Goil bottling plant in Tema that are currently undergoing test run, getting ready to begin to roll out their first cylinders on the market. And then we have the Blue Ocean facility also in Tema, which is also preparing their first cylinders for the market. And so in that regard, those 2 are ready. Goil has another facility in Kumasi. They are doing some final civil works, and they will also be ready to begin. And then the final one, which is the new gas facility in Tema, is also doing some electrical works. We believe at the end of September, they would also be ready to roll out.
The primary objective of this model is to ensure that by 2030, at least 50% of Ghanaians have access to safe, clean, and environmentally friendly LPG. Despite the delayed commencement, a consumer, Mohammed Osman, expressed his support for the model but raised concerns about its long-term sustainability.
Is very good because, at times staying at the LPG filling station is very dangerous. So it's better whenever you bring your cylinder, then you take the refilled one. It's better. For me, that one is good. Yeah. As for we the black people, the trust is the matter, because, they'll tell you maybe the cylinder is 100 cedis, maybe you are coming for the refill, it will be 80 cedis. If they are going to cheat for that one, I'm not going to agree. But if they know they are going to be justice, that one is good, it's better, yeah.
Mr. Boache, however, reassured consumers of its sustainability, adding that they can continue to visit their local LPG filling stations to refill their cylinders until exchange points are established in their communities.
We are running the old model or the model we know now. We are running it side by side of the cylinder recirculation model. What it means is that the refilling station where you have been filling your cylinders all this while, when you go there in the meantime, you can still fill your cylinder to whatever quantity you want and take it home until you see an exchange point pop up in your local area or in your vicinity, and then decide to go there and begin the cylinder exchange. Then from that point on, anytime you are out of gas, you go to that station and then exchange for a filled one. The cylinder recirculation model was introduced to improve access to LPG. That was the primary purpose for the cylinder recirculation model. With the cylinder recirculation model, we can bring LPG to a village or in a community by just introducing an exchange point, which is less costly than your usual refilling station.
Traders who sell the cylinders, on the other hand, are apprehensive about the potential impact on their businesses when the cylinder recirculation model is fully implemented. Martina Ofori is a trader at the Medina New Market, raising concerns about the lack of engagement. She fears she would be forced out of business.
That's what I feed on. So if it's going to affect my business, there's no way that I'll be in support of that. So I'm not in support of that. It wouldn't help me anyway. For now, if they can come around and sit us down and let us know the benefits of it, whether it will help or it will not help. But just getting up, I only saw it online. But they have not come to sit us down and explain anything to us. So for now, if I should say anything that it will help or it will not help, I'll be lying. But I wish they can sit us down. So maybe if there's something that they have for us and we, because they have not communicated to us, we don't have an idea. We wish they come forward and they will tell us their plans towards we those that are selling the cylinders.